Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, this is 1982's Smithereens. You see that? There we go, Smithereens. And this film is actually the debut film from Susan Seidelman, who I know is being the beloved director of Desperately Seeking Susan. Interesting that that has her name, but Desperately Seeking Susan was the first film I ever rented from a video store as a kid. When my parents got they came home with the video store card, and I was like, oh my gosh, we're rich, you know. My parents got a membership to the video store, like this is the best thing in the world. And that movie really became a very strong presence in my life, you know, all the years and up to my adult years and everything. Desperately Seeking Susan means a whole hell of a lot to me. Not a film that I would cover, you know, here on this channel just because it has a lot of talk, you know. But a film that doesn't have a lot of talk is Susan's first film, Smithereens. Now, I don't know if the band, the Smithereens, have anything to do with this title? Like, meaning, did they get the title from this? Were they around before this? I didn't do, you know, I didn't look around and stuff, but interesting, because I could see people getting confused, thinking about the band. I thought about the band. What's really kind of wild about this movie, and I have to mention this here. First off, it is 1982 New York City, okay? But a portion of the film takes place in front of and inside of the Peppermint Lounge. Now, I was already aware of the Peppermint Lounge because the Peppermint Lounge, this is the Cramps album, The Smell of Female, okay? Now, it's hard to see, but there's an address up here, 128 Peppermint Lounge. This is a live album from the band The Cramps. Rest in peace, The Cramps. And this album was primarily recorded at the Peppermint Lounge in New York City. So it was unbelievable to be able to see this place in Smithereens. Now, I'm guessing it's the same Peppermint Lounge. I'm guessing there's only one Peppermint Lounge. And this album, The Smell of Female, was recorded at the Peppermint Lounge February 25th and 26th, 1983. So approximately 1 year after Smithereens came out. So cool. So amazing. Anyways, I'm guessing that's the same Peppermint Lounge, okay? And there's only one Peppermint Lounge, and, you know, I guess that's New York. Well, you're going to see the Peppermint Lounge in Smithereens. Now, this is, oh man, Snapshot, 1982, New York City, punk, drugs, subculture, music, vinyl records, when bands ruled the world. When bands ruled the world, not social media, not politics, it was bands. Not even sports, it was bands. Well, at least this was the culture where bands ruled the world. I know when I was a kid, just for me personally, the only thing that ruled my world was music and movies. The same thing as today. And the people that mattered to me were musicians and movie makers, people in movies, people making movies. Okay, I didn't really understand too much about it all, but those are the people that mattered to me. You know, they mattered more to me than family, than even friends, because I didn't, you know, I was a bit of an outcast in a lot of regards. I was, you know, made fun of a lot by family and friends and lots of different things like that. So I didn't really have, you know, a lot of great... So the people that I really looked up to were the people that I could spend time with and be myself. The people I could spend time with freely. And that culture is what is what is this world. This is the world of Smithereens. You know, there's great punk music in here. There's great, you know, just kind of street New York City music in here. And it's one of those movies that just really feels, it feels like a documentary like it, because the characters feel really real. You know, the drunken, you know, if somebody's drunk, or if somebody's doing drugs, or if somebody's having sex, it just feels real. The characters feel real. There's a rawness to it. There's a film, Liquid Sky, okay? I've mentioned it on this YouTube page, and it's recently gotten love in the past couple of years through Vinegar Syndrome releasing it on Blu-ray and stuff. But when I fell in love with it, it was just on this shoddy DVD. And Liquid Sky, you know, it's one of my favorite films. If you've seen that movie, do you know the characters in Liquid Sky, like the people? You know how, like, authentic they are, how authentically out there they are? Yeah, you know, really, when you're spending time with the characters in Smithereens, you're spending time with, you almost feel like a little uncomfortable. You almost feel like, you know, you are there. You're in that dingy apartment. You're on the street. You know, you're looking for money. Also, you're looking for a way to get some cash. When this movie starts, I just was immediately intrigued. I was immediately sucked in, because I was like, wow, this is interesting. What you know, the concept of a flyer, the concept of posting flyers, and we all kind of know that from, you know, bands trying to get their stuff out there, so they used to post flyers everywhere. I mean, it was a different time. You know, today there's the internet and everything, but people they were making photocopies, and they were splashing them up everywhere, trying to get the word out, you know. And this film starts off with a very unique take on that, in a way, you know. There's something so interesting about this girl, who is the lead in this film. I mean, she is the film, but she's pulling you the same way she's pulling the characters in the film. So in a way, when you watch Smithereens, it's like you become somebody she's interacting with. And it's wild, man. It's freaking wild, because I loved her. Or at least I was obsessed with her. Like, absolutely. I'm watching the movie and I'm just obsessed with her every movement or every word. And then I start to maybe see things I don't like about her, but I'm fighting that. I still love her. When I first see her in the film, I'm trying to figure out what she looks like to me. I'm trying to figure out if I'm attracted to her. And as the film moves on, it's almost like her look changes to me. I don't know if I'm getting more of her. I'm getting more of her personality, so it's affecting the way she looks to me. I don't really know. But she started to, like, kind of morph and change. And damn, do I love movies that just let it happen. It just, you linger, you're listless, you're aimless, you're meandering, you're moving around the way documentaries do. Documentaries have that fearless vibe that it doesn't have to amount to something typically cinematic, that it can just be. And if you want to enter into the world of 1982 New York City, punk underground, subculture, drugs, it all, interpersonal relationships, intimacy, lack of intimacy, family problems, really relationships, the struggle of it all, trying to find yourself, leaving home, family, strangers, the system of the world, and like not wanting to be in it, but you still kind of need to if you're trying to get money. You know, you're against the system. You don't want to be a part of it, but you just acknowledge that you need it because you need money. You need money to live. You need money to do things. There's a scene in the movie where, you know, the character who's kind of against the system is kind of intrigued by the notion of being able to be taken out to dinner, which costs money. There's difficult romance in here. Very, very difficult. It's not a romantic film, but there's real kind of turmoil love, turmoil relationships. And there's this amazing scene with a prostitute and her lunch or her dinner. And it was like, it was amazing. It almost made me emotional the way the conversation was going down. I mean, if all the conversations in here were scripted, holy shit, this was insane. Okay, that's all I got to say. Like, there's too heavy a dose of real in Smithereens. This is a fun. It's fun if you like that difficult subculture world, you know. It's exciting, it's interesting, it's intriguing, it's entertaining, it's... Most of all, I wanted to be there for 90 minutes. The end of the movie is kind of a sucker punch of sorts. And this is really... I mean, this was shot on 16 millimeter, it says in the back here. Gosh. Yeah. You're going to recognize... You're going to recognize some people in here, maybe, especially the main guy. The main guy you're going to recognize most likely. He is Brad Rinn. Brad Rinn plays Paul in the movie. And, I mean, yeah, you know, this is... I love this movie. This is 1982 Smithereens. And you know what's funny? I see Desperately Seeking Susan as an extension of this, albeit much more underground and raw. And you can almost see Desperately Seeking Susan as like her film bringing the Smithereens into the mainstream, kind of. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but there's a bag in Desperately Seeking Susan that's like black and white tiger striped. And I believe that that's the same look of a bag in Smithereens. And I don't know if that was intentional to kind of, you know, harken back in a way, connect Susan's films or whatever. But I just noticed that, and I thought that was really interesting. 1982 Smithereens. This release is Criterion. I think originally it was on DVD from Blue Underground, I believe. But this is Criterion, and I you know. Amazing. Thank you.